Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It is Thursday morning, May 30th. Almost the end of the month, guys. Got a coffee. So I can see some of you guys are enjoying watching the repair videos, like on the Champion and the AKA Frankenstein Troy built with a Predator engine. You know, when you get into situations like with the Troy built, you have nothing to lose, right? And that is one of the cheapest options out there, even if it lasts a year. But with Harbor Freight, you can buy the extended warranty on that engine, and anything that goes wrong with it, you can just swap it out. But you have your time. So that's what we're going to talk about today is, you know, when it comes to you selling a product to a customer, or if you're a customer, if you're somebody, a homeowner, and you're looking to buy something, here are some of the questions that you need to ask. This should be good. All right, so hang tight. All right, so welcome back. Yes, today is Thursday, and it's the weekday, Monday through Friday, and available on podcast as well. All right, so yesterday I threw together a video with a Predator engine from Harbor Freight because the guy that had brought the tiller in, I tried to get him to go that direction in the first place. And we would have still pocketed about the same amount of money because he already owned the chassis, right? So he would have just had to cover us the engine and our time. And I quoted him right around $300. By doing what I did, I was able to help, make some money for the shop. And that's the goal, is to make money for the shop, but not off the backs of your customer. Now, one of the things I'm going to do once I get this completed and it's running and driving, I'm going to give that customer a call and say, look, it's on. It's ready to go. You get first. You get first option. If you want it for this amount, you own it. And then it'll be up to that customer to say, no, I don't want it, or yes, thank you so much. But either way, I've kept that customer in the loop because I feel I need to. It was his to start with, even though he gave it to me at the shop. But I don't want to develop a reputation of, oh, he just tells customers that their machines are no good and then he fixes them and sells them for a profit. No, it's not how we work here. It's not how we roll. There are very few things that come through this shop that I take and make a customer's machine work and sell it for a profit. All right. Most often the case, we take it as a loss because it ends up in the boneyard and they don't want to pay the diagnostic fee, or, they've been a good customer so long, I don't charge them a diagnostic fee. Now, do we stick it up on the hill and use parts off them? Absolutely. We help all our customers out. If they need a new back tire and rim, we can give them the price of a new versus I've got a good using up on the hill. I can pull that off for $40. It's on, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, and it's out the door. We do that, yes. And then every so many years, as you guys know, we have a local scrap iron dealer, that's a friend of mine, come in, and he brings in an excavator and great big dumpsters. And within 2 to 3 days, he's got everything picked up. He's even got cronies that come and pick up all the smalls that Claude has dropped on the ground up through the boneyard. They don't miss a beat. And he takes it all. He doesn't pick and choose and this and that. Now, once he gets it back to his location, he will take the aluminum blocks and transaxles and smash them and then, sort like that, but not here at this property, So today we're going to talk about, when it comes to buying or selling, and we're going to deal with pretty much, lawn and garden equipment, but this could relate to anything, and I'll show you how it all ties together. Now, if you are a dealer and you are selling whole goods, riding lawnmowers, tillers, and all that are brand new, you're floor planning, right? Whether on a small scale or a huge scale. You as a salesman for that dealership, you need to ask the right questions. And the right questions are, one, what will we be using it for? How big a yard are you going to mow? Be a good one. If it's for a lawnmower, if you don't know the size of the yard, it could be the size of a dog run, which would mean a push mower would do them just fine. Now, you're not going to make a killing on the back end by selling them a push mower versus a rider. But what I'm trying to get at is in the long run, you will come out ahead. And as I'm going through this stuff, guys, if you're a homeowner, a do-it-yourselfer, these are questions that you need to ask yourself before you get there. And if the salesman doesn't bring it up, bring it up. I mean, I know with car dealerships, their salesmen don't last very long. It goes through as fast as, most people change their underwear. It seems like that. They have a core group of salespeople that are there, are like lifers because they do very well at what they do. But most part, if you're not a very good salesperson, you aren't going to last because you get based on a commission, right? You get a base, but the base isn't that much. But it's off commission. So when somebody comes into my shop and they're looking for a chainsaw, I want to know what they're doing with it. Are you a homeowner that you just want something for around, the yard to trim up some brush here and there once in a while? Are you cutting a load of logs for firewood to burn all winter? There's another one. Are you in the woods cutting firewood to burn all winter? Are you in the woods cutting firewood to sell to other people that are burning firewood? Or have you just bought a piece of property that you're looking to, clear out and you're looking for a chainsaw? See, all those things matter. And they matter depending upon what you want to put them in, right? Now, honestly, we talked about how the battery revolution is coming, and it's here. And people will buy if the price point is good and the batteries last, they're not just kicking out every 2 minutes. But if I had a customer that just wanted something to prune their trees around the house every so often, I would probably push them towards the Eco battery pack with a little. You can get it with a 8, 9, 10, and 11-inch bars on them. Very sharp. Great little rigs. And Cloud's got one, and a customer showed me his that he had. And they love them. And they don't require a lot of maintenance, right? And you don't have to worry about them sitting for long periods of time, right? So I would push that customer towards the Eco, and I would make sure if you're a floor planning dealer and you're not carrying these eco-friendly trimmers, little saws, you know, push mowers, then I think you're probably missing the boat because I think they've come a long ways in that department. I'm not hearing good reviews yet on the riders and the bigger chainsaws and this and that. I'm talking just the little handhelds. So that's the first thing that you got to know, what do you want it for? And then once me as a salesperson listens to you, and that's key, is listening. Listens to you, tell me what you want to use it for. I can base the suggestion on a history of, all right, so if they're mowing a dog fence, let's take a look at the eco-friendly push mower and the gas mower. Entry level. If they're older, maybe, self-propelled one, but no frills. Bagger, that's fine. And not a 60 and zero turn. See, now you as a salesperson would get more money if you could sell them that 60 and zero turn, right? Oh, yeah. But it's not all about sales, and it's not all about you. But in the end, it's all about you. When I say it transcends other industry, my son, I mentioned before, was wildly successful as a car salesperson. And how is he successful? Because he came to me and we had a chat. He wasn't doing that great at car sales. And he wanted to know what he's doing wrong. And I gave him the same advice I'm giving you right now. Is one, don't be a pushy salespeople person. Nobody likes them. Walk out. If you see somebody on the lot, give them your card. If you have any questions, what have you, you can come in and grab me or call me. I have my phone right with me. And let them look. And if they kind of grow interest in this one car, and they do want to know more about it, then tell them more about it. And the biggest problem I see with sales folks that aren't, what's the right word, been at it for a while, is they're so focused on what they're going to make that they're trying to upsell every product that goes, even before they've sold the car. Yeah. And the customer isn't asking about those other products. They're simply asking about, what's the gas mileage on this car? What's the warranty like on this car? And do you know any problems that this model has had? But with my son, what he learned to do was he grew a huge contact list. Because a lot of them would leave with his card and then call him back 3 or 4 days later after they've been car shopping on other lots, and they couldn't stand the salespeople, so they call him back. And he told him, he said, if there isn't a car here, I can get it here. Within a couple of days, give me a couple of days, I can get it here. And he was selling cars during COVID as well, of going right to the customer's house, dropping off the new car, disinfecting it as he got out, disinfecting the old car, swapping plates, everything else, taking the old car back to the lot. He did everything for his customers. Did he get paid for it? No, not for the extras. But in the end, he did, because anytime they wanted a new vehicle, they came to him. And he began to see trends with certain customers of what they wanted. So if they come onto the lot, he already knew what they're looking for. And if he didn't have what he thought they wanted on that lot, he would take them in and show them on the computer. or on his phone, this is what we have on the sister lot. We can get over here if it's something you might be interested in. And one of the things that he also didn't do was there were some hurt feelings in the beginning on this, but then they came back and they've come to like him. Was he also wanted to know what the budget was? And if he ran a credit check on you and your credit was kind of what they tend to do is these bigger dealerships, they have so many different loan departments, loan officers that they can tag. But a lot of times, the more expensive the vehicle, the higher the interest rate if you don't have excellent credit. And more than once, he would tell someone that qualified for a loan on a $60,000 vehicle at 18% interest, and he knew they couldn't afford the payment. So he would try to push them towards something that they could afford. And I know in the beginning he had blowback from a couple of them, and he came out and told me, he said, look, I don't want to put you into something 2, 3, 4 months down the road. I'm going to see you again because now you've taken that new to used, so it's depreciated already, and now you're trying to sell it back to our dealership for a car that you should have got in the first place, that you could afford, but now you got to tack on the $8,000 to $10,000 in equity that come off that vehicle. Now is going to be tacked on to the price of the car that you could have had 4 months ago. You don't see too many dealers do that, sellers anyway, or salespeople. They just try to push you into anything they can to make the most money for them. And that's why when you get a good, reputable salesperson, you stick with them. So you want to ask all those questions of, what are you using it for? And, whether it be, what size is your garden? Could be the difference between a walk behind front tined, rear tined, or a tractor mounted, lawnmower mounted, belt driven rototiller. So you need to have all the information before you can make a suggestion. At least I do. And your customers will love you for it because you're looking out for them and not your own pocketbook. Selling them that eco may not make you the money that you could have made on that zero turn, but in the long run, that customer is going to remember you and say, look, they got me exactly what I wanted. It fit perfectly with what I was doing, and here they come back again on their next purchase of something else because they trust you. And they trust you because you were honest with them and you looked out for them. That's a good salesperson. Yes, you got to make money to pay the bills, feed the kids. Absolutely. But if you do it this way and you're being honest, sincere, and truly wanting to help that customer, it'll come twofold down the road. You aren't going to be job hopping because you're going to have enough customers wanting to deal with you. That there may be 4 salespersons on that floor, but they're looking for you. And they've got your contact information in their phones. And guess who they're going to call when they're looking for something? Whether it be a used mower for camp or this, you'll get that call. And you'll get that sale. So I'm going to start wrapping this up. But the main key thing is if you're the salesperson, whether you're a car dealership or a lawn and garden, rule number 1, never lie to a customer. Do not make up shit as you go. If a customer asks a question, if you don't know it, be honest. I don't know, but I will find out for you. Because good chances are, the day of the internet is here, is that customer has already looked up all this information that he's found online or she's found online. And if you make something up and it's not true, you're going to lose a lot of credit. That customer is not going to be wanting to deal with you because you weren't willing to be honest. And sometimes honesty is, I don't know. And even with me at my age, there are a lot of things I don't know. But if somebody asks me a question, I'll say, I don't know, but I will find out for you. Customers are okay with that. Someone just, talking out their ass, no. Customers are not going to fly for that. So when it comes to buying new and used equipment, know the questions that you need to ask ahead of time to both the customer and you as a homeowner or do-it-yourselfer at home need to know when you go to that dealership. And if you're buying used off from Facebook, Marketplace, buyer beware. What I find most of the time is when people decide to sell their old lawnmower, there's a reason. And that reason usually is because it's starting to cost them money. And sometimes it costs more to fix it than the mower's worth. So, if you're going to buy from Joe Blow down the road off Marketplace, you want to have some experience. And you want to take somebody that knows something about lawn and garden equipment, about lawnmowers. Preferably a mechanic would be great, but not all mechanics are willing to take the time off to go take a look at a lawnmower for you. Can it happen at dealerships too? Yes. A lot of times the stuff they take in used, which aren't taken, I don't know, too many are taken in used anymore. But a lot of times you're buying it as is, where it is. And years ago when mowers had value, that they would bring it through the shop. And most dealerships made their money on the sale of the used one after the fact than they did on selling you a new one. So on that note, you guys have a great Thursday. We'll see you here bright and early tomorrow morning to round out the week. And you guys have a wonderful day.